welcome back to the Football Tragics. I'm your host, Aaron, joined here by Campo. Just the two of us today, mate. How you doing?
A bit rough after last weekend, but we moved forward, new weekend, and hoping for the win.
I can say the same, that's for sure. Let's go straight into the fixtures ahead. Obviously, this evening, Arsenal v United, massive one. Leicester versus Villa, City, Watford, Norwich, Newcastle, Brentford, Spurs, Burnley, Wolves, Chelsea, West Ham, Brighton, Southampton, Liverpool, Everton, and Palace v Leeds. That first one, Campo, Arsenal versus United. I mean, it's a big game for you, for Chelsea as well, and then obviously Arsenal and United. Who have you got coming out on top?
It's the 9:30 kickoff, so that usually means something bizarre is going to happen. I'm praying for a draw. I'm not going to say a team's going to win because that's what I want, a draw, 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were in the 9:30 slot last week and it didn't go too well for you. They do say never back the early kickoff. Yeah, I had this one going, probably a draw as well, to be honest with you. It's hard to pick it. For your sake, yeah, definitely you want to draw. You wouldn't want Arsenal getting a win, that's for sure. They'd probably jump you temporarily. But yeah, it's massive. I think if United don't get anything from this game, that's top four done for them with their slim chance even. Arsenal at home, they'd be expecting, maybe not expecting, but they'd be definitely up for a win here, coming off a good win against Chelsea. So yeah, I've gone with the draw as well. Leicester v Villa, one of those ones where there's just nothing really doing for either team, is there? I think Villa would like to be a lot better off than where they are. They're sitting in 15th on 36 points, 4 losses in a row. Do you see that changing this weekend?
This game's hard. I'm thinking I'm just going to sit on the fence again. I just don't know. That I don't see any team really going out there to try to win. Leicester have that European Cup coming up, the semi-finals. So I think I'll have one eye on that. So I think, actually, I'll go Villa to win. 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go same because Leicester do have that cup semi-final coming up in Europe. So I think they'll be trying to rest for that, knowing that they can't do much in the league. So I think they'll be throwing all their eggs into that basket. So Villa definitely would like to finish their season strong, and I think they get a result here. City v Watford. Now, I mean, it's down straightforward, doesn't it? You'd say City 3-4, 5-0. Is that the way you're gonna pick it?
Keep it going up. I think this is going to be a rout. Watford are pretty much down. City, I think this is the game they're just going to say, this is our title. This is us. I'm going to go 6-0 City.
6-0, wow. I mean, at home, I have to agree with you. I might not go that high. I might go 4 or 5, which is still pretty high. I think the fact that they played before Liverpool this weekend will help them. I know they got past Brighton, but it did take a little while for them to break them down. So they should run all over Watford at the Etihad, and then again put pressure on Liverpool, who have a bigger game coming up. So yeah, 4-0 City, I'm going to go. Norwich, Newcastle. I mean, Norwich, they're as good as down. Not mathematically, but it's only a matter of weeks. Either if it's this week, the next, I don't know how long it is, but it's a matter of weeks. Newcastle, on the other hand, are playing brilliant, aren't they? They're 3 wins in the trot. They can push into top half of the table. They can be that team that finishes in that 9th spot below Wolves, who are probably the best of the worst teams, I want to say. Good finish of the season for Newcastle. I mean, this should be a pretty straightforward win, or
it's a ridiculous finish. Everyone had Newcastle written off, even with all this money that come in, written off. You suck. They sacked their manager, and Eddie Howe has got this club singing right now. They're playing well. All their new signings are playing well. That Bruno, I know which Bruno I prefer in the Premier League, and it's the Newcastle one. I think Newcastle will win 3-0.
Yeah. I mean, I think it might be a little close. I think Norwich are going to put up a fight just about. So only got 2-1 Newcastle, but like you said, Bruno Guimaraes he's been brilliant. Their new signings, I mean, it's one thing to spend all this money, but for them to then go and click and play football and win games, that's important. So they're doing that. So Newcastle 2-1 win, keep going with the momentum. And again, I think they'll end up finishing in that 9th spot because it's all in their favour, really. And that's a brilliant finish of the season considering where they were. Now, Campo, it's Brentford v Spurs. This game, are you worried? I mean, Brentford, they've won 3 in a row. They've won all 5 games Christian Eriksen started. He's coming back against Spurs. You guys obviously lost against Brighton. Are you worried for this game, or are you confident?
No, I'm not worried because we're in this kind of same slump. Like, not slump, but we lost the game before Brighton. I was a bit nervous, but then we just come out. Brighton just don't handle pressure that well, in my opinion. And we'll be pressuring him all game. So I think I'll crack early, and then I think we'll just pick them apart. I'm going to say 4-1 Spurs.
I'm not going to go that high, but we are going to agree again. I think that loss to Brighton was just I wouldn't say it needed to happen, that's for sure, but I think it helped Conte, keep them level-headed because you were in a great run, and fair play to Conte and the team, but that loss kind of was a bit of a wake-up call, and you should make amends now. Again, playing after the Arsenal United game will be important. The result of that game. If that's a draw, perfect. You guys can go and get 3 points and then, kind of cement that top 4 spot if possible. But I mean, Brentford are going to put up a fight, I think. They're playing well. I wouldn't be surprised to see Christian Eriksen do something special, goal or an assist. And then, I mean, I think you guys might be in the hunt for him in the window, that's for sure.
I think he only signed a 1 year as well, so I think he's gone regardless.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he puts in a stellar performance, we're just going to say, nah, we don't want you. Give us the win this week. We'll take you back next year.
Yeah, I think him going to Brentford was just purely, he wanted minutes, he wanted football, and he showed his world class. So he needs to, again, go to that bigger club, which is unfortunate for Brentford, but I don't think they were ever to keep a hold of him, really. Burnley v Wolves now. It's an interesting one because Burnley coming off a win against a Southampton team they were terrible. They didn't show up at all. But suddenly Burnley have this little bit of fight in them after sacking Sean Dyche. Can you see them getting a result at home against Wolves?
It's just at the weird part of the season where these Everton and Burnley need to pick up points. Mm-hmm. And this is where teams slip up. Wolves are in that hunt for that Conference League. I can really see Burnley coming here and putting a number. I don't see them winning, but I can see them taking a point from this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to have to agree with you again. We've doing a lot of that. Yeah, I think that, like you said there, it's this time of the season where these teams who are supposed to be fighting for relegation are turning into bloody world-class world beaters. They need wins, and they'll throw whatever they can at it. Burnley, I mean, Sean Dyche, should he have gone? Who knows? But they have a fight in them. And at home, I think they definitely fancy their chances. Maybe if it was away, I'd probably say Wolves win. But Wolves, I don't think are going to get that. They're not going to get that 6th spot which they need for Conference League. They're falling short, I think. So they're just going to be probably playing towards next season. But Burnley, I mean, they're in a massive fight right now, so they need to stay up. So 1-1 draw. I think Burnley will score first, and then Wolves will kind of claw it back, and then it's going to fizzle out, unfortunately, for Burnley. But then again, that puts some pressure on Everton again, which we'll get into in a little bit. London derby here. Chelsea beat West Ham. I mean, we're coming off a shocking result against Arsenal. I think you agreed. It might have been Morty. Sorry that, we both agreed that Chelsea should have run over Arsenal. Arsenal's in crap form, but it was just one of those games that Arsenal seemed to get up for Chelsea and no one else. But it's a London derby again. It's hard to pick because Rudiger apparently is still out, and I think he is our backline. You saw Christensen and Sarr at the back against Arsenal with absolute shambles. I'm gonna say I'm obviously always going to go with Chelsea. I'm going to say 2-0 Chelsea, only because clean sheet, only because it's at Stamford Bridge. I think if it was at London Stadium, might be a different story. But we do have to be wary of the likes of Jared Bowen, who has hurt us in the past, and Mikel Antonio, of course. But yeah, 2-0 Chelsea. Hopefully, get back to winning ways and kind of cement that 3rd spot, because again, we drop some more points. You guys are going to close in, and And not just that, Arsenal, United, it's become we fall into the top 4 race when we really should have had this 3rd spot wrapped up. How do you see going?
I see Chelsea winning because I think West Ham's mind, the only way they're getting Champions League football is through the Europa League. Europa League's just lost Barcelona, so I think they have a real good chance of winning this now. I'm going to go Chelsea 2-1, and I think West Ham don't go all out for this game as they've got European coming up.
Yeah, I mean, look, on the table, the 5 points off Spurs in 4th, but I mean, you guys have a game in hand, so do Arsenal, and yeah, you'd say 5 points. It's not a lot, but they are kind of that team that might fall short. So yeah, all eggs in the Europa League basket, I think. Brighton v Southampton. I'm going to just have to go with Brighton here with the home team. Southampton didn't show up. They've kind of fallen off a little bit, Southampton. They were on the heading towards that, can they finish, 8th, 9th? But they've just kind of fallen off a bit. I don't know what's going on there. They're just a bit of a up and down team results-wise. So I'm going to go with the Brighton win. Would you agree with that?
I'm actually going to disagree probably for the first time this podcast. I'm going to go a draw. Both teams, they have nothing to play for. I just think it's going to fizzle out early and it's just going to be lackluster.
Okay. All right. We head into the penultimate game, the biggest one of the rounds. Well, arguably, Arsenal United would have been up there for sure. But it's Liverpool v Everton. Look, we're both going to say we want an Everton result here because we don't want to say Liverpool in the league. But realistically, they're in horrible form. They scraped a point. Not horrible form, I'll get them involved, but Liverpool are in, the world-class form, you have to say. How many games in a row they've won, or not dropped points, sorry. Yeah. Can you see any other result than a Liverpool win at Anfield?
Nah, no chance. It's just going to be a long day for Everton. They're just going to get peppered, and they'll crack finally. I don't think it's going to be a blowout because it's a derby, but I think it'll be 2 late goals, and it'll be 2-0 Liverpool.
Okay, yeah, but it'd be closer than I thought then because you saw what Liverpool did to United, who didn't show up. Everton are in the kind of same boat as United. They're just not playing great football. So I could fully see this being another 4-0 scoreline to Liverpool and just embarrassing Everton off the park at Anfield. And it'd be a sight to see for Liverpool fans, but it obviously still then puts pressure on City as well and keeps the title race going. The final game of the round, it's been a very quick pod. We've just kind of rambled through them, but that's fine. Palace v Leeds. It's a bigger game. It's a bigger game for Leeds than it is for Palace. Palace, they're only 4 points ahead of them, but they're in that safety net, I think. Whereas Leeds, they're only 5 points from Burnley in 18th spot. Could this be the result now that kind of puts them in that safety net as well, like Palace?
Yeah, I think Leeds will come out ready to go, and I think they'll score early. I think Crystal Palace will peg them back, but then I think I'll score in the 70th minute to win the game. I just think they have so much more to fight for. And at this time, teams, as we said before, they just get up for these games and they turn into world beaters for a day. And I can see this happening again.
Yeah, we're gonna end the pod in agreement again because I think Leeds under Jesse Marsch right now, they're looking pretty good. They seem like they're really fighting for him as a manager. And that's what you want when you had a new manager come in. And I think this, again, should be the game that kind of puts them over the line just about and get them home. 2-1 as well. I think Palace, they're coming off the back of 2 losses, a semi-final FA Cup loss as well to Chelsea. And they've just kind of, they've not done as well as they should have because they should have won a lot of games, but they've dropped a lot of points. So I think Leeds win it late, 2-1. Again, very quick pod. Thanks for joining me, Campo. We'll hopefully get you on for the review, obviously, and hopefully we see.
If Spurs win, I'll be on.
Well, hopefully we see Tony soon. If maybe United can get a win, so
it'll be good to see that. All right.
Thanks for joining me, mate. See you later.